All right, good morning, eighth grade. Come back to math. Figured there wasn't much more to give you as far as the math we've been learning other than a little review of chapter 10. So I took the graphing part out of the review because I figured it's been that was hard to do virtually and hand in this way. So I just figured we'd just focus on the solving quadratics. So I just want to review the methods we learned so you can try your 9 questions and put them in the form. So the first method we learned was the easiest method, again, which is the square roots method. And this only works when your quadratic formula, obviously, it has to just have ax squared um, plus maybe a constant equals some other number, d or something. So basically, you have to just have an x squared in your equation and then a bunch of other stuff, and then this will work. So you can see in this example, divide each side by 5, square root both sides, and then they get x minus 6 is equal to plus or minus square root of 6. And then you have to then add 6 to whatever the square root of 6 is, positive version and negative version. Then we did completing the squares. So this is where things is like, not gets confusing, but there's different little tricks and things you have to remember. For completing the square, this works for pretty much any quadratic. And the part that you had to remember was taking your b value. So you take everything, instead of putting it in standard form, you want to have it with the constant on the right side of the equation. And of course, you take the b divided by 2 and square it. And so that's what you add to each side. So add 4 here, add 4 here. So then that gives you a perfect square trinomial, which is x plus 2 in this case, squared equals 10. And then you can square root both sides, and then you would actually do the math there to get that. Then went on to the wonderful quadratic formula. So in the quadratic formula, obviously this is the quadratic formula, this is the discriminant. We spent a lot of time on that last week and the week before, so that's the other method. The other method that's not mentioned in chapter 10, because technically it's chapter 9, is factoring. So I'm just going to quickly go to today's questions that you're doing. I think it's page 675. So you could also factor. For example, let's see here. Trying to think of one that would be easily factored. Trying to think. Let's see, what's one that could be easily factored? It's got to be at least one. Can't see one off the top of my head that can be easily factored. Maybe this one. I'm trying to think. If you wrote this as x squared minus 12x plus 36, two numbers that multiply to be 36, two numbers that multiply to be 36 that add up to negative 12. So you need two negatives, maybe 9 times 4. No, I don't know. Let me trying to think if I can find one that could easily be factored, but you get the picture. At some point, you could factor these if you wanted to. This hey, that's a perfect square trinomial, isn't it? Yeah, it is. You could change that to you could factor that out. All right, x. What was I thinking? Yeah, minus 6, and then x minus 6, like that. And then right, because that's going to be negative 6x. Negative 6x. That's the middle term. So really, this is x minus 6 squared equals 0. Or if you just set this equal to 0, there's only one solution, and that is x equals 6. So there's one that I did for you that you could use for the factoring method, number 37. So good luck with today's assignment. I'm looking forward to my buzz cut / shave my beard on Wednesday to say goodbye to distance learning, and looking forward to Thursday's promotional ceremony or ceremonies as well. I'll probably try to put some version of the end of the year survey for these next 2 days worth of work as well. Have a good day.